Hi, Aries, and welcome to your love reading. Will resonate whenever you find it. I've shuffled your deck, pulled your cards, and we're going to talk about what came out. So, bottom of your deck is Death, Big Changes, Hermit in the reverse behind that. It's looking like you guys have probably dealt with an ending not long ago in regards to a relationship. It does look like you've tried to do something new with your time. So some of you may be dating someone new, but there's a really heavy energy of not being 100% sure if you're in the right place. I feel like the person you're dealing with is probably trying to rush you to make a decision of some sort, but it looks like there's some things that you're seeing about this person that have you feeling hesitation. Okay, so it looks like there's a lot of comparing between this newer person and someone you've dealt with in the past. I think that you're really enjoying this person's company, except the more that this goes on, it feels like the more that they want some kind of like agreement. They might be accusing you of actually like ignoring them or hoping for a reconciliation with someone else. If you've ever talked to this person about someone you've dealt with in the past, it feels like whoever this is that's in your energy is kind of suspicious of whether or not you're completely over your ex. So if you feel like this person is acting kind of strange towards you, or they're trying to rush you into making some sort of like executive decision outside of just dating, like we need a title, I need to know where this is going, that's because they feel like you kind of have one foot out the door, or you're just like still waiting on someone else. Now, that might not be true, right? Because I feel like when it comes to Aries energy, you guys are pretty good about doing what you want to do, right? It's kind of like, if I didn't care, I wouldn't be here. You can't rush your heart to get over someone if you have like that person from your past, but that doesn't make the feelings that you've been cultivating for this new person any less valid. So I feel like for you, it's a little bit obnoxious, because what I'm seeing here is that you actually are putting a lot of energy into this, whether it's like spending time with them or thinking about like how to please this person, as far as like, oh, I know they like text messages in the morning, whatever, right? I'm seeing you actually taking the action to show this person that they matter to you. But for whatever reason, it seems like this person is kind of focused on all the reasons why you could be going back to someone else, or they have a tendency to really like accuse you of withholding affection or attention. And I think for you, it's kind of frustrating, because it looks like that could have been a situation that you experienced in your past relationship. And so in this relationship, it's like, man, I'm actually really like doing all the things that I know my past partner wanted that I didn't do, right? Or maybe didn't do as much. And this new person, it's like, it's not good enough. Nothing is good enough for this person. They always want more. Um, and so I think, if anything, you're kind of looking back at your past partner and you're thinking like, wow, this person, seemed like a pain when I was with them, but actually they had some good stuff about them. And I gave them less, and they still were showing up, versus like this new person where I feel like I'm trying really hard to be all the things that maybe my past partner criticized me about, right? And this person doesn't seem to ever be happy. They always kind of want more from me. So it's a bit of a frustrating situation for you, I feel like, because it makes you feel like your best isn't good enough, right? And it also has you, little does this new person realize, the more that they criticize you, the more that kind of pushes you back, right, to want to reconnect with whoever this other person is in your energy, right? I think you genuinely wanted to move on to something new, and it's almost like this new person is actually making you miss your old person, just based on the way that they're showing up or the way that they're behaving. Now, as far as your opportunity, you got the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. So if you guys are like going above and beyond to try to prove to somebody, why you'd be the best choice, or that you're really invested, maybe it's time to take a step back, right? Because there's a lot of people out there. For you cross watchers, it could be that this has been your experience with an Aries, that they're never really happy. or they always want more from you. So just take it how it resonates, because the energy is going to be reversed. But you guys have an opportunity to stop putting in so much work into something that it feels like, in some ways, it's kind of showing me that you would be better off spending some time by yourself at this time. I feel like if you have a partner that is making you feel like you're not good enough, or like you need to be everything to them, it's very possible that you guys have experienced something like in your earlier years that makes you feel that about yourself, right? That you have to like prove why you're lovable or prove your worth, because it feels like you're attracting these partners where it's like either you feel like you're not doing enough or they feel like you're not doing enough, and it kind of feels like there's no happy medium, right? So it's you guys' job to set the tone, right? You don't have to do so much, right? The right person is going to accept you just the way that you are. And I feel like this new person is kind of making life a little bit difficult for you with their demands or their expectations. So your opportunity is actually, if you stop putting the work in, this person is going to have to look at the situation and see how they're kind of playing themselves, right? Like, man, when Aries isn't there to pick me up for work every morning, now I got to take the bus. And wow, you know what? Aries was doing a lot for me. So you're actually being encouraged to kind of pull back a little bit, because this person's behavior is going to blow up in their face, right? It doesn't seem like this is fair to you guys. As far as your obstacle, you got the Chariot in the reverse, and that's kind of a big obstacle, right? Hierophant in the reverse. So I think a lot of you guys, in all honesty, perhaps you attracted a partner that feels like you're not doing enough, because deep down you're still kind of thinking about this old person and feeling like you didn't do enough, right? Don't get mad at me in the comments. That's literally just what's coming out, is that it's almost the energy of you feeling like you lost the one, right? And so maybe you're attracting partners that are very critical or very cynical, because that actually makes this other person look better, right? Or it makes you kind of think like, man, maybe I should have stayed where I was, or maybe a reconciliation with that person wouldn't be so bad. So that's a pretty big obstacle, because it's showing me that you're actually not really ready to move on from the last person you dealt with. Even if you don't want that person back for whatever reason, it's almost like your heart isn't quite ready. You might do well to just spend some time by yourself and rebuild, yourself, because a breakup is a big deal. It's not a small thing, especially if you had really deep feelings for somebody. So your obstacle is that this situation that you're in, unfortunately, because of where you're at in your life, it looks like it's not going to progress. I think you have to give so much of yourself to this that eventually it's going to get annoying for you, right? It's going to become something that's a burden rather than something that's just like light and fun and maybe a distraction from, how you've been feeling lately, right? Something you may want to consider is the Knight of Wands in the reverse. So, not to be crass, but is this something that was just supposed to be a fling, and then because it felt good in that moment, you like extended it into a relationship or some kind of situationship that perhaps it really wasn't meant to go past, like a short time, just to get back out there, feel like you're doing the thing, you're not being a hermit anymore, because this is showing me that this is a very temporary energy, and this is a distraction from the way that you guys were feeling before you got involved with whoever this is. So, I mean, in all honesty, is that even fair to that person, right? Even if they're being kind of a pain in the butt, nobody wants to be a rebound, right? And that's kind of what I'm seeing here for something that perhaps you should consider is, how invested in this are you truly, or is this just like a nice way to not think about this Nine of Swords, Five of Cups energy, right? Because I feel like when you met this person, that kind of turned around that sadness you were feeling or that loss you were feeling. But that's a temporary fix, right? Because this is something that needs to get figured out before you're able to truly move on and build something new with someone else. So, you guys, this has been your love reading. I'm going to put the extended reading at the end of the video, and that's where I'm going to take a look at your person. I'm going to see how they feel about you. I'll actually take a look at the old person's feelings as well as the new person's feelings for you guys, because it seems like you're very curious to know, or you're still kind of thinking about that old person, and that's totally fine. So we'll do a comparison between the both of them, and then we'll get advice for each person so that you can have the clarity that perhaps you need to move forward. All right, I'll speak to you guys soon. I've shuffled your deck, I've pulled your cards, and I gotta tell you, it looks a lot more optimistic in regards to the old person than it does for the new person. As you can see, I do read reversals, and this new energy has all reversals, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because reversals can be good, except some of the cards you got, I personally would not want reversed. So let's break this down. So, in regards to your previous person, they're actually really interested in you. There's still an energy of them wanting to see where the relationship could go, even though it's done. Okay, so if you're feeling kind of pulled to that person, it's very possible that you're picking up on their feelings because you actually got some cards here that show me that this person still views you in a romantic way, right? They still have some pretty heavy feelings for you in the lust department. There's still a love there that's pretty deep.